welcome back. Episode number 24, the No Cap Sports Podcast. It's a Kobe episode, man. Just gonna turn it up for the one time. Josh gonna start us off.
Balling like on Kobe, yeah. Shout out to my man, Big Nick Hayes on that thing. You feel me? Big twist. Let me stop for you. He turn it off again. So, with that wonderful transition you gave me, sir, we're gonna discuss some of the best, music, quoting Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, the GOAT, as they say. Personally, the most popular, I think, Kobe song would be the Chief Keef version, but I swear I think that I'm Kobe, swish. That's my
Bro, that's our bro. What you mean? That's our music.
Nah, for sure. But right before we got on air, my co-host, Mr. Laws, put me on a Lil Wayne Kobe song. I did not know Lil Wayne had a Kobe song dedicated to him. So, he said it was for another type of people. We're not going to say who it was. But I checked that out. You said what?
I prefer the term uncultured.
Uncultured. Yes. People that like mayonnaise. Yes. This was okay.
Strong with mayonnaise.
And then, of course, you heard about
sandwiches.
Nicky mayonnaise.
Wow. Definitely wouldn't have did this podcast if I knew that information. You like mayonnaise for real?
I mean, when I eat like a ham or a turkey sandwich, yeah.
Dude, you gonna get some mustard? We're gonna talk about that later.
Either mayo or honey mustard, bro.
Hey,
mayo or honey mustard? You did not compare mayonnaise to honey mustard.
I'm saying, like, that's what I put on my sandwich, either or.
Hey, Josh.
What's up? What's up, bro?
Nick kick his legs in the air when he playing his PS4, bro.
Nah, Nick be stomach first on his bed with his legs kicked up like this. But anyways, we're gonna get back on track. G Herbo dropped a whole album, mixtape, whatever, in 2016, titled "Ballin' Like I'm Kobe." But it's G Herbo, so we're not gonna talk about it.
Oh God, we're not gonna talk about it. I mean,
not on this.
I'm surprised because you talked about T Grizzly, so I thought you might as well.
Hey, you feel me, bro? Like it's a line, and that's the line right there.
You're right.
Hold on, Van sent something in the group. Let me check it out real quick. Oh yeah, that's what you said. But yeah. So out of those three, have y'all heard all three of those? I'm assuming you have, Vince. Have you, Nick? Have you heard the Lil Wayne Kobe version?
I ain't heard the Lil Wayne Kobe. No, I'll be on that Chief Keef though.
It's gonna be the man. So you'll probably rock with the Chief Keef version.
Of course. Okay.
It was a classic middle school anthem.
It's still an anthem.
Thanks.
Different strokes for different folks. But what I was originally planning to talk about before Vance brought that wonderful idea into my head was the new 1017. Gucci keeps inventing himself. He's a music mogul. Diddy level type of person. Give people their flowers while they're here and alive, man. He got out of prison, got his body right, the whole thing. So he's starting a new label, I guess, the new 1017. He has a Memphis residents, Pooh Shiesty, Big Scar, Fujianos from Atlanta. And these other people that I wrote down, K. Shide, Love Enchanting, and Roe Boy. And I listened to a Roe Boy song, and he sounded like K. Kemp. So I don't know about him. But Gucci came out with So Icy Summer, and that was where Pooh Shiesty really blew up with all his hits. And he just dropped So Icy Gang Volume 1, last week or this week? I can't remember honestly. I think last week.
Yeah, last week.
So as a wonderful co-host of my music, or as a wonderful host of a wonderful music segment, I'm going to ask my friends, who is your favorite artist in the new 1017?
Shiesty.
Vance, go last. I want Nick to go first.
Well, who me. I got to rock with Pooh Shiesty, man. He just hard. That's as simple as I can keep it, bro. He just hard.
Hard.
Yeah, ABCGE.
I don't know if that was a song I would have picked out of all the Pooh Shiesty songs. But hey, different strokes, different folks. Mr. Laws. Who's your favorite artist in the new 1017?
So,
K-Shide.
Bro, whenever she literally whispers when she raps, bro. Do you think that's really how she talks? I need to hear her talk.
You better than me. I didn't listen to her or Love Enchanting.
She talk, bro. She raps like she's smoking a cigarette at the same time. Bit of her lyrics, bro.
Man, that's tough.
I mean, bro, I'm not saying she's trash. It's just that's just how she sounds. But
But
anyway,
that's how people be talking about like Janae. They be like, oh, she just like makes elevator music, but hey, she be flowing. But I don't know about K. I don't know about K Sade. But yeah, she part of the new 1017. So yeah, welcome to the family. But you didn't answer, Vance. So I need you to say your answer so I can say my answer.
All right, so answer is gonna be. I already know who your answer is gonna be, so I'm gonna give a different answer. I'm gonna say Fujiano. He really slid on the So Icy freestyle.
Oh God,
he did though. I like him. Baby mama ain't. Yeah, all that. I'm rocking with Fujiano. You feel me? You know. But thank you, Vance. Thank you for the alley-oop. I'm gonna have to go with Big Scar, man. You know, as a short guy. Yeah, yeah. He dropped all of them actually dropped the freestyle on Audio Max YouTube. 17 bars for the new 1017. Wordplay, all that good stuff. And I thought his was like out all of them, the best by a wide margin. He had Big Boy Diamonds. That's the beat that he had, and yeah, he killed it. As a short dude, like, I kind of tend to, look up to big, taller dudes. He's a big, lanky dude. So, yeah, he hard, bro. Like, he really coming in snapping. What? What's wrong?
Does a man's height really matter when it comes to music?
I mean, no, but, I got short man syndrome, bro. Like,
I love Young Dolph.
I gotta listen to Gotti all day because you said that now. CNG, man. Yeah, he said he only been rapping 6 months. Well, okay, hey, I'm rocking with everybody. BG, you feel me? Endless Entertainment, yeah. We'll get into that later. But my last question for my wonderful co-host, since this is the new 1017, it has to have been an old 1017. The original members of 1017, people that have been a part of it include Young Thug, Waka Flocka, Hood Rich Pablo Juan, Rollo. Ain't he locked up still or something?
Yeah, he's still locked up.
Free Rollo, man, till it's backwards. So my question is, out of those 4, would you take the old 1017 or the new 1017?
Hey, that old 1017 was kind of crazy.
It was for sure. They weren't all together at the same time, but that's like they all-star team, I would say.
Yeah, because like you got to think about Thug and Gucci did a collab tape that was hard. Gucci and Walker did a collab tape that was hard. Rollo just straight. I don't really mess with him too much. But the Thug and Walker projects collabs, them just was next level, bro.
You just live out Hood Rich Pablo Juan.
I mean, I mess with Hood Rich, but I ain't want to say his name on here because they might think, he with me and come rob me or something. So I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Hood Rich get robbed like once a month. So
he do though, for sure. Can't keep a chain, brother. Can't keep a chain. That's sad. But okay, Mr. Laws, can I get an analysis from you?
I'm gonna say the old 1017 was more top heavy, but this team they got now, that's a whole squad. I think they're gonna be able to sustain for a long time. So give me the new 1017. I like
it. Okay. I like it. That'll wrap up my segment, guys. I'm gonna give Nick an easy transition and say that No Cap is my favorite rapper. He's from Alabama. That was good.
Okay, well, since we're talking about super teams, old 1017, new 17, we got to talk about a team that's been dominant since the old 1017, and even back when guys were wearing leather helmets, and that's University of Alabama Crimson Tide, and they continuing to dominate. Hey, Josh, we can't hear you. I don't know if you're saying something.
Real? No, I'm just making movements.
Cool. But anyway, Alabama continues to dominate. They trounced Georgia on Saturday, 41-24. Mac Jones 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards. Najee Harris 152 yards on the ground. So, what has impressed y'all so far with Alabama this season?
Go first, Vance. I usually steal the spotlight. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, what has impressed me? I mean, honestly, there's nothing to be impressed about. It's what you expect from Alabama. Excellent. So, the offense is great. I mean, the defense, they did enough to beat Georgia. Georgia's no slouch. Don't get it twisted. They're definitely a top 3 team still in the SEC, if not a top 5 school in the nation. It's just dominant. The dominance that impressed me the most. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like first half, the game against Georgia was really close. They came back in the second half and just dominated Georgia. Like, Georgia had no answer for them whatsoever. So, dominance is my answer.
Yeah.
My answer is, I would say, Nick Saban's ability to reinvent himself. Nick Saban teams as a former DB coach. He's relied on dominant defenses. Winning games, beat LSU 9-6 and whatnot. But this year's a different story. He can continue to flip his team, and they're going to continue to be dominant, like Van said, in their own special way. This year's Alabama team, they're averaging 48.5 points a game. That's crazy. Like you said, Nick, Najee Harris, Jalen Waddle, Mac Jones is really, sprinkling the sugar around, almost averaging 400 yards a game. Devontae Smith is still there and crazy. So, that's not to say that they have a bad defense. Dylan Moses, I like a lot of their interior guys. They got, they're at Alabama, they're gonna have talent, but the fact that they're continuing to win, people oftentimes compare them to New England, but as we see, we're gonna talk about later, New England kind of has fell off a little bit. So I can say they've probably been the most consistent athletic team of my lifetime. I'll probably say that for sure.
And I mean, talking about Alabama and that defense, it's like, we're coming off, last week we had the Alabama-Georgia game as a pick-em. Me and Vance picked Georgia just because off the strength that they gave up 40-plus to Ole Miss. But then the defense comes out against a walk-on quarterback, which I said was going to be a big deal, Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett only completed 45% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. And that's the kind of dominance you're used to seeing for Alabama on the defensive side of the ball. And so with Alabama being dominant like that, I think it's going to be almost impossible to beat them, especially when you consider the playmakers they have on offense. Because I know I was a little bit concerned with Mac Jones stepping in and being the starting quarterback because he's unlike any of the past Alabama quarterbacks in recent memory, talking about Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. So he's unlike any of them. He doesn't possess the same running threat or any of that. He's a true pocket passer, if you know what I'm saying. And he's doing a good job and stepping into that role and just dispersing the ball to playmakers like Waddle, Devontae Smith, and getting the job done. And so with that, do y'all think Alabama will continue to sweep the rest of the SEC?
I think I definitely do. Like you said, Vance. Like you said, Nick. The last couple of generations of Alabama quarterbacks have been more dynamic. But don't forget about the AJ McCarron days, the Greg McElroy days. But I definitely think that at least right now, Mac Jones appears to be better than both of those guys. And to me,
hands down.
Thank you. I think those guys are more game managers. Like, what were you going to say?
Well, I think Mac benefits a little bit more from the playmakers he has around him. You got to think about guys like Jalen Waddle.
Mac would play with Julio next.
I know, but I'm saying it's not as deep talented. You got Jalen Waddle. He touched the ball. It can go for 60 anytime. Devontae Smith, he's hands down one of the best deep threat receivers in college football right now. And then you got Najee Harris, so you can set up screens and things like that to just get your playmakers in space. And then this is also the advent of the RPO era. So he's kind of feasting off that too in a similar way Tua was last year.
Are you saying this their best team ever, bro?
No, I don't think it's their best team ever, but I think it's a well-constructed team.
I think it's the best offense ever?
Team ever?
The best offensive team ever?
Yes, for Alabama.
Oh, for Alabama? It's top 3. Top 5. Because 2 years ago, that was a scary offense with Judy, Ruggs, and all of them.
Yeah.
And then, the year with Josh Jacobs was there. And then also the year where they had Trent, Henry, Yeldon. Was it? No.
It was Ingram. I thought it was Ingram and Trent Richardson was backing up Ingram.
Yeah. That's it. That's the I'm thinking about. I got them mixed up.
They beat Texas in the championship.
Yeah, that year the offense was just stupid because of how well they could run the ball. So yeah, I think it's a top 5 Alabama offense all time though, hands down.
Okay.
I like it.
And so, what were you finna say, Josh?
I'm about to say, like, just thinking about, it's the SEC still. They're gonna play games week in, week out. Kentucky just little boy Tennessee so severely. They got to play them. They still got to play the Iron Bowl, even though Bo Nix has been looking, mad.
Shaky.
Still got to play LSU. Don't laugh. You know what I mean, they just lost to Missouri. So I don't think anybody will beat them in the regular season. But hey, they're gonna have to show up every week.
Yeah, that's true. And then
Another team to beat who I got.
Say it again.
If they might end up playing them, South Carolina, bro. I like the way South Carolina looks, bro. I
they
know
don't play
they
South Carolina though.
but they might see them in the SEC Championship.
That's fair. I'd say so far. Well, I think the best team that Alabama has to play in the remainder of their schedule is probably Kentucky, because this week they play Tennessee, then they got Mississippi State, who's fallen off the face of the earth, then they got LSU, then Kentucky, then Auburn, and like Josh said, Bo Nix has been looking very shaky, and they finish up with Arkansas. So I think out of those 6 teams, I think definitely Kentucky provides the most comp for Alabama.
That was nice, bro. I forgot all about them, bro. I don't know what's going on, bro, but it's a problem. Who's the head coach for Arkansas?
They just hired Georgia's O-line. What's his name? I want to say it's like Pickens. He was Georgia's O-line coach last year.
Yeah, bro, because I thought he was drunk for giving Felipe Franks a chance, but, shout out.
Oh, man. But
addressing your take, Vance, if Alshon Jeffrey and Garcia, they couldn't beat Alabama, I don't think this year's rendition. Didn't they just beat somebody? Didn't they just beat LSU or something like that?
They actually got DBs that can cover, though. I think they got the best secondary in the
SEC. They got Deion Sanders' son.
Oh, yeah. You talking about South Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best SEC by far.
Bro, their corner just won SEC Defensive Player of the Week or something. He had like 8 PBUs, a pick.
He locked up Williams from Auburn, the best receiver. Bro. I'm not going to say he's the best receiver, but he's definitely top 5 in the SEC.
Alabama. South Carolina could beat Alabama.
It's the SEC, bro. Anything is possible, bro. If you told me Arkansas, if you would have told
Marcus Lattimore, Connor Shaw, all those.
Bro, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Arkansas would have 2 wins at this point in the season, I would have called you a fool.
Yeah. Bro, why is Missouri in the SEC? That's the most random SEC school.
Money.
A&M, well, they already beat
LSU, though.
Later in the season, they might have had. I lied. Alabama's going to sweep the SEC. Next topic, bro.
Okay, so assuming, Alabama sweeps the SEC and Clemson does the same in the ACC, I think personally, and I think we all think, these are the 2 best teams that we've seen so far in college football. Do we agree?
Yes.
So, assuming these are the 2 best teams, how do you see these 2 teams matching up?
Well, let me go first, Vance. I'm excited. I got a whole rundown. Hey, don't look like that, bro. You feel me? It's just like a prize. So you got to run it down. So we're gonna start with the most important position in football, quarterback, Lawrence Mack. I definitely say I when I wrote it down, I had big advantage Clemson, but I'll just say advantage. Mac Jones is looking good. You feel me? Running back, ETN, Najee Harris. ETN's more experienced, been in more bigger moments, but you only play 60 minutes, and I think Najee Harris can be just as good as the back as Travis Etienne for 60 minutes. So I got that as a toss-up.
I think hands down I got to go with Clemson when it comes to backs, because you got to think about how versatile ETN is. ETN is a guy that catches the ball out the backfield and just basically does everything for that Clemson offense. He's back-to-back ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Not Trevor Lawrence, not anybody else. If you know Clemson, ETN is the engine that makes that thing go. And he showed that in the first half of the LSU game before Clemson kind of got away from him. But he's a dynamic back, and I think Clemson has the advantage there.
What about you, Vance?
Oh, yeah. And honestly, a quarterback, bro, I think it's a wash at running back and quarterback, honestly.
I can't. I give you running back, but I can't say quarterback.
Bro, I mean, if it's just for one game, I
got to see at least more of it. And I don't think he can even do everything that Trevor Lawrence can.
I mean, he doesn't have to. He has all those weapons. All he has to do is get his weapons the ball, which is the same thing Trevor Lawrence has to do. Is Trevor Lawrence more talented? Could he do more with a lesser team? Yes, but I feel like the teams are equal. And so, therefore, I think it's a wash. Trevor Lawrence is the better player, no doubt, but I think it's a wash.
And I think that's a fair point right there, because you got to think of
I'll let the judge will let it slide. I like that argument, but that'll come up to the next. I was gonna say, weapons, pass catchers, and I got Alabama as a big
Oh
advantage.
yeah.
I'm saying you got Smith, got John Mechie. He really showed that last week as well. Jalen Waddle. You got Clemson as Amari Rogers. We played against him. He was all right. He got a lot of tattoos now. Frank Lasson, really impressive 5-star guy. 60 more of a boundary, but Bama all the way. And
Hey, bro, rank the top 3 skill players. Top five skill players in that game. Go quick.
Were you including quarterbacks?
No, just running backs and receivers and tight ends on both teams. Top 5 players.
Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle.
That's 3, fool.
He's damn broken. Can I count? I got 5. 2 more. You said 5.
You said
right?
top 3.
Oh, did you?
Top 5.
All right, cool.
Dude, tripping. Thank you. I said Etienne, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, and then Amari Rogers.
I'm gonna have to go ETN 1. Give me Jalen Waddle 2, Najee Harris at 3.
Ooh.
And then give me it's gonna get spooky. Give me I'm not really too impressed. I guess give me Devontae Smith and give me Frank Lasson at 5.
Boo, 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 boo. I hate your list. Come on now. Game-winning national championship.
Come on, bro. That was his freshman year, bro.
What you mean? It doesn't go away. Come on,
man. He's good. He's a great deep threat receiver, but you put the ball in Jalen Waddle's hands, it's a chance for a touchdown at any point.
Say it again.
Did he even have Smith in his top 5?
He said
I had him at 4.
He said on 4. He said him and then Frank Lasson, who had a big drop last week. So that doesn't even.
But they won.
Lasson, but I mean, who knows, bro?
I would too. But hey, then the side of the ball that really matters, defense. It's gonna sound a little crazy, but I got Bama. Even though Clemson's defense has been playing a lot better this early in the season, I think Bama's defense got a lot. I think Bama's defense is gonna be more talented. They're gonna be better. They're gonna be playing better when it counts in the SEC.
Yeah.
What'd you say, sir?
Let me make it easy for you, bro. Clemson's defense is giving up an average of 12 points per game. Give me Clemson's defense over an Alabama defense that gave up 40 to Ole Miss. It's that simple.
I feel it, and it was duly noted. Thank you. That Clemson has been playing out of this world early, but that Deion Kendricks, they got the big white guy Ryan Breeze. Who else I got wrote down here? I mean, Clemson defense, I like it. They've been playing together a long time. Dabo Swinney's gonna have them running right. Well, not Dabo Swinney. Clemson DC is gonna have them running right. But man, Saban is still Saban. He's gonna have that secondary looking tight and right. By the SEC championship game, they're gonna have dogs in the interior. That's who really, disrupted the game for Stetson Bennett. They still got Dylan Moses. Think about it. He was on the ESPN cover when he was 14. So they're gonna have a front seven. I think I acknowledge your point. They defense is a collaborative thing, and Clemson's defense has been a lot better than Alabama's defense so far. But I just think when it comes down to it, Alabama's defense is going to play, more dynamic. Guys, they're going to be more seasoned. So I think by the time that these two teams play, the Alabama defense will be better.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, I think it's going to come down to – I think it's a wash with the players. But I'm going to say the coaching. It's going to come down to coaching. The coaching job that I saw Clemson do, that was the best coach against Miami 2 weeks ago. That was the best coaching job I've seen in a long time. It was just a blitzing, killing De'Aaron King. And I feel like the defensive coordinator for Clemson is going to be sending the dogs at Mac Jones and trying to ball out of the quarterback's hands quick before those receivers can get separation. So I'm going to give Clemson the slight edge.
Yeah, and so for me, it came down to, these two teams have seen each other in college football championship 4 times. It's split right down the middle, 2-2. And these teams, in my opinion, are similarly constructed. We talk about explosive offenses. Alabama's averaging 48.5 points per game. Clemson's averaging 48.4. 2 explosive offenses, 2 really good, talented defenses. But to me, this game comes down to essentially who's been there before, who has more experience on the roster and coaching, like you said, Vance. And to me, Clemson has the better coaching, better quarterback play in bigger moments. So that's why I got to rock with Clemson as the best team in college football. And the AP poll agrees with me because Clemson is yet again ranked number 1 and by a wide margin.
Hey, different strokes, different folks, player. You feel me? I'm not mad for that call. It's like when people were like best receiver D-Hop or Julio. I'm gonna always take Julio. You feel me? I like a fast guy that'll do more things. But hey, D-Hop has been more reliable. So hey, whatever.
For
So
sure.
who would you
Next topic.
need to win the game?
Me?
Yeah.
Alabama.
Oh.
Alabama has been kicking people's butt since I was in elementary school. Think of you know how many people that not even like you think Alabama has names, but it's like the Patriots. They're just a machine. We talked about that earlier when the Ingram and Trent Richardson combo. That was what 2011.
Yeah.
Bro, we in college. I was 11 years old when that happened. Like Saban has a system and he knows what he's doing. And Dabo Swinney is probably the second best coach, and Brent Venables is probably the best DC in college football. But
hands down,
they're up against the demigod, bro. Like,
I'm gonna let you have it, and we're gonna have to wait until around January to see. But if I'm betting, my money's on Clemson. But come January, we can have another team get in the mix as the Big Ten returns this weekend. So with the Big Ten returning, they're playing an 8-game schedule, conference only, of course. So who are you guys? What teams/players are you guys most excited to see when the Big Ten returns?
Ohio State.
That's easy.
I mean, just like you see them. I want to see them dominate. They playing close games. To be honest, they can cancel the Big Ten season again. To be honest, honestly, the Big Ten, they really should just throw Ohio State in the ACC or throw Ohio State in an independent schedule, and then all them other teams, I don't know, they can play each other in intra-squad scrimmages or something, bro. I really don't. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I just want to see Ohio State.
I feel you.
You telling me you don't want to watch Minnesota and Michigan play Saturday, bro?
Audience.
No.
Something we have to address. When we discussed, how this show is constructed, and niggas was like, yeah, we're gonna talk Michigan, Minnesota. Me and man was like, yeah, okay, I will do our research because I literally probably don't know nobody from Michigan still. But yeah, we're down for the squad, bro. But he told us we don't have to talk about it no more. So I'm glad because I didn't do my research. Actually, I did. I won't talk about it since I did it. Rashad Bateman, a guy that opted out that came back in, and Tanner Morgan, one of the best.
Oh, he came.
Yeah, Rashad Bateman back.
What?
They let him opt back in. No, actually, I think he's still waiting because he hired an agent. I think they're waiting to clear him. I think he's still waiting for clearance.
Okay.
Michigan has Joe Milton at quarterback. He's gonna be making his first career start. They're returning 12 all Big Ten guys on defense, but Jim Harbaugh gonna keep him a defense. But it's simple. I think Minnesota has the two best guys on that field, and I think they're gonna win.
Yeah. And so for me, of course, we want to see Ohio State, but there's a couple of players I want to see come back and hoop this season. I start out with Rondale Moore, man.
Ooh, you took mine.
I'm gonna let you talk about Rondale because I got another one in my head who I want to see. So you got Rondale.
Rondale Moore, he's a junior this year. He had an injury-plagued sophomore season. I don't even know how many games he played.
He only played 3 or 4, I think.
As a true freshman, crazy. Those all guys a line in a slot. You move him to the running back position. You go into him. You throw. He can be a vertical threat. What I was saying, he's college football version of Tyreek Hill, at least in my eyes. So after that big freshman year and kind of the disappointing sophomore year, and he opted out and opted back in as well. Probably one of the most dynamic guys in college football, regardless of conference.
Yeah. And so since you got Rondale, I let you have it, like you said. All Big Ten as a freshman, Paul Hornig Award winner. But for me, a guy I'm really excited to see that Indiana team. Just see how they come back after a loss to Tennessee in a bowl game, a comeback loss to Tennessee in the bowl game. And one guy I'm really excited to see on that Indiana team is Walt Philyor, the leading receiver. He's a senior. He's a 2020 Maxwell and Bill Kentoff Award watch list guy. had 70 receptions, over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. So I'm excited to see what that Indiana offense looks like behind Mike Penix.
So tell me you gonna watch an Indiana football game?
Yeah, bro, I gotta support the game, bro.
I definitely thought he was not finna say Jack Boy in them. But
I mean, my boy, I ain't seen my boy Jack Boy play yet, so I gotta see him. Gotta see what he come out like too.
Oh my!
I'm gonna say Jack Boy, Jay Wheeler, one of them. But yeah, hey, I'm down for the cause.
So while we talking about Big Ten, last little point in our college football segment, what would hold more weight in terms of college football playoff when we get to like January? An undefeated Big Ten / Pac-12 team, or one-loss ACC, SEC, Big 12 team?
That's a good question. I didn't really think about it, so you just asked.
Hey, I have one question before that, real quick. Can I ask you real quick?
Of course.
All right. So, if you had a draft, who would you draft first? Kadarius Toney from Florida, or Rondale Moore from Purdue?
Rondale. So, Toney, but Rondale does more stuff.
Rondale's just different, bro. Not even in the phone. He reminds me so much of Tavon, but better than Tavon. It's ridiculous.
Man, that's high pressure. But he's like you said, not even in the phone booth, bro. Not even
exactly.
In the phone.
All right, back to your question about who hold more weight. I'm gonna just give me the one-loss team, bro. 8 games is kind of. If it was 8 games in the SEC, I probably would be. Give me the 8 games in the SEC. It's still a Big Ten. They're solid, but it's like you never really expect them to do anything once they actually make it into the Final Four, unless it's Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I kind of looked at it like for me, it depends on how the Big Ten / Pac-12 wins these games. If these are blowout victories, you got essentially your JV squad in the fourth quarter, and you go undefeated. Give me that team. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say Ohio State goes through, they win every game by 20 plus. Hands down, give me Ohio State. But in my opinion, like a one-loss SEC team in particular should have a shot at the college football playoffs. Because like one team I got in mind is Georgia. Their one loss is to Alabama. It was a less than 20-point loss. And so I think, if they go out the rest of the season and continue to dominate, I think they still have a legitimate shot at the college football playoff, depending on, what the Big Ten / Pac-12 schools do. So I think for me, it's more of a situational thing that you got to take by team basis. But I think if a Big Ten or Pac-12 team just dominates the conference, they should get into the college football playoff.
I feel that. Honest. I just think it's probably be a bigger deal in terms of the Big Ten and Pac-12 because, they were supposed to play in the spring and they came back. So I don't know how that's going to affect, TV time or exposure or whatnot. But I feel like there still would be some type of, recency bias for the Big Ten and Pac-12 teams. And I just feel like the committee almost feel like obligated to, take that into consideration. If a Big Ten or a Pac-12 team goes undefeated, they did all this rearranging of their schedule. I feel like the committee would be obligated to be like, we got to throw them in there, or the best team that comes from one of those two conferences. They had, and I think they will, because I think Ohio State will go undefeated. But even if Oregon went undefeated or Utah went undefeated, I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility for them to get into the playoff. So I would say, I don't know. I just feel like I honestly feel like they're equal. A undefeated Big Ten Pac-12 team probably holds about the same amount of weight as a one-loss SEC team or any other conferences playing right now. Mm-hmm. I'd probably say they hold the same amount of validity in the eyes of the committee.
Well, I'm be honest, I don't see no Big 12 team getting in, so it's essentially 4 conferences, 4 open spots. Because ain't nobody in the Big 12 worthy, bro. Oklahoma State the only undefeated in the Big 12, and they haven't really done much to impress me. They've got wins over Tulsa, West Virginia, and Kansas. Like, that's cool and all, but beat somebody that's some real comp. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this: would you rather take a one-loss Miami or Notre Dame, or undefeated Cincinnati team?
I can't put with Cincinnati in the.
I mean, they play SMU this Saturday, and then in a few weeks they play Memphis.
they'll definitely lose one of those two games, I think. But if they don't, then I feel like they could be, in the
They
playoffs.
get in the prime position because they got teams that got to play each other, so they'll jump over them as long as they keep winning. They might. But then again, the Final Four rankings haven't came out like the
college football playoff rankings.
Interesting. To your point, Nick, Oklahoma State does not play a ranked team the rest of the way, unless somebody becomes ranked.
They play Iowa State, huh?
Huh?
They play Iowa State this week, right?
Yeah, and they known for upsets too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
So, if Cincinnati can beat SMU and Memphis, which I highly doubt will happen, I would definitely take them over Oklahoma State for sure.
I think when you look at, I think this is the year where it's going to be even harder for smaller schools to get into a college football playoff because you're not playing those non-conference games. So by not playing those non-conference games, give me a one loss, Miami or Notre Dame or whoever is in the Power Five, just because you don't have that. You don't get to see these group of 5 schools play the bigger schools.
But then again, I feel like the revenue wouldn't matter because a lot of people, you can't even fill up the stadiums with crowds because of Corona. So, like, this would be the year to throw teams in there because you're still going to get the same amount of revenue no matter who you throw in there because a smaller school will be able to fill up a big stadium.
I mean, that's true.
But I mean, a lot of the money this year will come from TV, and those smaller schools are going to have, more dedicated. I feel like are going to have more dedicated fan bases, and that's what they're going to be banking. So, like you said, there's not going to be people that's going to be in the stands. I'm really just stalling to see who's the highest ranked non-P5. So, Cincinnati is 9? Oh, wow. I did not know that. It's kind of high. If BYU's playing good, too, I'm looking at that. I don't know who they would play that would really put them over the top. But if Cincinnati can beat SMU and Memphis, who probably will be ranked, hey, if they can jump if there's nobody comes out of undefeated at the Big Ten or the Pac-12, for sure say that they could. I'll put them in the playoff. That's 2 legit wins right there.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't really agree with you just because the strength of schedule will be a big factor here, and they don't have that. But with that, we're going to go and close the segment out, and we'll be coming right back to y'all with some NFL talk, the big storylines from this weekend. So y'all just stay right there.
Bring your
All right, and so now, of course, full slate of NFL games this past week, so we got to talk about it. So first major storyline from this weekend, Patriots are below 500 in October for the first time since 2002. Also, another big storyline, Jets are the only undefeated team in the NFL. I mean, are the only winless team in the NFL because they definitely not undefeated.
When last time the Jets were the only undefeated team in the NFL and Joe Namath was quarterback, bro? The civil rights era.
I can't even remember the Jets being undefeated. Maybe 1-0. That's about it. But for real though, we not
definitely think that we can talk about the Patriots.
Yeah, we finna talk about the Patriots, bro. So
get back on track, brother. Get back on track.
You're right. So right now, Patriots sitting at 2-3 after a loss to the Broncos on Sunday, 18-12 loss, and they're sitting at 3rd in the AFC East behind the Bills and the Dolphins. So far, what have y'all seen from the Patriots, and what do they need to do to is it time to hit the panic button in New England?
I'll throw it back to you first, Nick.
So you want me to start off? Well, for me, I don't think it's the need to hit the panic button. They've played a pretty tough schedule over the first 5 games. You got to think about their 3 losses have been to the Seahawks, the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs game, no Cam Newton, and the loss to the Broncos. And then in 2 of the 3 games, excluding the Chiefs game, the Patriots were competitive in them. You got to think the Seahawks game came down to the last play. Broncos game, offense just wasn't clicking. And I mean, that's kind of expected when your starting quarterback gets put on the COVID-19 list, comes off, only has about 3 days of practice to prepare for a game. It's kind of expected for the offense to be out of sorts. So I don't think it's time to hit the panic button yet, especially looking at how the defense has been playing this season. In the Broncos game, they didn't give up a touchdown, played great, had 2 turnovers, and the defense is 9th in the league in terms of yards allowed per game with 339, and it's a top 10 pass defense. So with that defense, really the problem is just offense and getting things to click. So right now, right now, the New England's top 2 pass catchers, in my opinion, would be Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry. And this past Sunday, they combined for 2 catches for 8 yards, which is you just can't excuse
Boo,
that.
boo, boo. Y'all playing like some boo, boo.
Exactly. And Julian Edelman leads the NFL in drops right now with 11. So
Wow.
exactly. So I think right now the Patriots just need to find a groove on offense. And I know people will say, like, hey, the Titans just took a 2-week or so layoff due to COVID, came back and destroyed the Bills. But the Titans didn't have such key players go on the COVID list. They didn't have Ryan Tannehill go on the COVID list, and they didn't have their best corner go on the COVID list. So I think those 2 factors played a big role in the Patriots' loss on Sunday. And I think there's no need to overreact and hit the panic button in New England. So what do you guys think?
I'm gonna flip the script, Mr. Wonderful Note Reader. I think Nick pretty much dressed us one up and down. Didn't know about the Edelman stat about the 11 drops. Oh wow, Odell got banned from LSU for 2 years. I would definitely say I think they kind of need. I don't say they need to smash it like this, but I definitely poke it. 30th in passing offense, 25th in passing yards per game. Nick detailed how disappointing the receiving crew has been, but usually within that Patriots offense, you can sprinkle the sugar to your running backs. But recently that hasn't been happening as much. James White has been infected. Don't even know if he's still with them.
He just took like 2. His dad died, so he didn't play for 2 weeks or so.
Okay. I did see that. Rex Burkhead, he had a good game early in the season. Haven't really heard from him. Sonny Michel. So that that staple of their offense that has been there for Bill Belichick for decades, that's failing right now. So that's concerning for me. Cam Newton is your leading rusher. I don't think that's good at all. He's a leading rusher for almost 100, almost 50 yards. Has 5 touchdowns. The next running back on your team has 1.
I don't think it's a big problem that Cam leads the team in rushing yards. You got to think it's a running back by committee. You got Damian Harris, you got Burkhead, you got Michelle, you got White. When all 4 of those guys splitting carries, of course,
that doesn't sound like a committee. If Cam got 5 and the rest of them don't have 5 together, that don't sound like committee.
I'm just saying, Cam had 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns against the Seahawks just off quarterback power.
Well, yeah.
So do you want him to run the ball 10 to 15 times every game?
He's not. I don't see it as a problem.
I don't think my bad. Go Vance, my bad.
I was just saying he's not getting hit, so it's not a problem.
Exactly.
Now.
He got hit last game against the Broncos. They was touching him up for sure. But, then again, like Nick said, the offense was rusty. So, give it a few weeks. If it's too early to hit the panic button now. You still got a lot more football left to go. You got 3 more months of football left to go. It's not time to hit the panic button.
I'll touch it. At least let my finger hover over it. What's changing, though? Are they going to get a downfield threat? Or is their offense? The offensive line can get healthy, but, what is going to change?
Their offensive line is fine. They got a steal in the draft from Michael Onwenu, who's been consistently graded by PFF as one of the best offensive players in the league. And he was a 6th-round pick. They got value there. They still got Thuney on that offensive line. Got David Andrews back. This is a good offensive line. It's just the offense is a little bit out of sync. And that's to be expected when your starting quarterback goes out for 10 days with COVID. And then also, it's tough to come back off the COVID list and play the Broncos because, they're going to bring heavy pressure with it's a Vic Fangio defense. They're going to bring heavy pressure, play man on the outside. And that's why I think the Patriots need to be a big player before the trade deadline. Trade deadline is November 3rd. I think they need to be a player. You don't have the reliable tight ends you used to have. Your receivers have been underwhelming. So I think they need to make a play for a guy like A.J. Green, a John Ross, a Chris Herndon, any of these guys that you can get the ball in space or that can create separation.
Not Chris Herndon, brother.
Herndon. Wow.
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise.
Okay, bro. David and Joker.
I don't know if Nick's talking right now, but I think they probably paused him saying that. So Nick summed it up pretty well. Their receiving core needs to make a change at some point. They have no downfield threat, nobody that really is scaring defensive coordinators, coming into that week. And that's a necessary adjustment they have to make, a free agent or something like that. We might talk about a little option a little later in the show, but I would be panicking if I was a Patriots fan.
I mean, another reason not to panic is the Dolphins are sitting ahead of you, and they're 3-3. That's an easy catch up. That's a game behind, and also the Patriots haven't played any divisional games yet. So I think
they beat the Dolphins week 1.
Do you think the Patriots
right.
are better than the Bills?
I don't think they're better than the Bills, but you got to think expanded playoff format, the Patriots can still get in as a wild card. They might not win the division, but I think this is still a playoff team. I just think they need to make a couple of adjustments and just get back on track. I think that's all the Patriots need to do. But since we talked about the Dolphins, big news coming from Miami this week. Tua will be the starter going into week 7. The Dolphins have a bye this week to, I guess, let him get acclimated as a starter. So starting out, just what do y'all think about the timing of this move? Why do you think they made the move now?
Go first, Vince.
It's kind of trifling, bro. Like they're treating Ryan Fitzpatrick like that girlfriend that you can always go back to in time, bro. But I mean, Tua, he's the future. You drafted him for a reason. Obviously, he's doing something in practice. I don't think it's a Nathan Peterman type of situation where he's like, oh yeah, this is our quarterback, and he's about to stink up the place. I think he's the future. You see all these young quarterbacks coming in the league, doing their thing, phasing all these vets out of the league slowly but surely. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's came in like Josh Allen, like a Kyler Murray. I think he's ready to take that next step. I don't think he'll be any worse than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And Ryan Fitzpatrick has been doing an exceptional job. He has them at 3-3. The Dolphins, they're in an unknown territory, so it's just like, why not try something to push you over the top? Maybe they still have time to catch the Bills. So I mean, Who knows?
And I agree with you. I mean, the Dolphins draft Tua 5th overall this year's draft, and you got to think about it. The Dolphins over their first 4 games were 1-3. It was looking real scary, you know what I'm saying? And Flores decided to keep Fitzpatrick in and just work through it. And they ended up working through it. And their past 2 games, they won by 21 plus. And so I think I just don't know how to feel about, moving Tua to a starter now, especially Brian Flores, this is your 2nd year as head coach of the Dolphins. Your main priority should be winning. So I'm going to let Josh talk about it for a second.
I was distracted. Some dude, you know how the freshmen coming in and post their little athletic picture. I guess he had like shot of this girl, and she was like, "Ooh, I weigh more than you know." And this on the timeline, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like his feelings kind of hurt. But yeah, I don't think what were we talking about again?
Tua, bro.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is from Harvard. He's been, a journeyman in this league. He's well traversed. There's worse mentors that he could have. I don't know. I would say trifling, like Van said. The timing is a little weird, though. I guess to throw him in, I guess against the 5th game, 6th game of the season, 5th game of the season. I mean, if this is something that their system they had been working on throughout the week, then I guess it really don't matter what we think. And I guess the Jets are a JV team at this point, so it was a good game to practice.
I mean, they threw him in at the end of the game this week. He only played 5 plays, threw 2 passes. Nothing really to write home about. It was just his NFL debut. So overall, would y'all say this is a good move for the Dolphins to make or a bad move for the Dolphins to make? And to your point, Vance, one Dolphin player told ESPN that he was surprised about the move, but he noted that Tua keeps improving and making 1 or 2 wild highlight plays in practice every week. So what do y'all think? What is y'all's overall sense of the move? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Move, bro. Great move for sure, bro. I think those receivers, Parker, Preston Williams on the outside, I think they're about to go crazy. I like Kenny Ballage, the way he's been running the ball. I mean, that's a nice team. They might sneak into the playoffs, bro. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but we just got to see. Let's see how it plays out.
Josh?
I don't know about that, brother. I mean, good for their future, obviously. But as we've talked about, even Sam Darnold makes 1 or 2 wild plays a game. So I don't think it's about the wild plays. I think it's about, you had to laugh that hard.
It's more like, wow, did he really just throw that? Must have been a ghost out there in coverage, huh?
I see one Sam Darnold highlight this year, bro. Like literally just one.
We ain't even gonna talk about it, bro. Tua. I think that they probably have more weapons than Sam Darnold has. Preston Williams, like you said, Devontae Parker. They got a good running back.
Mike Gesicki, Kenyon Ballage. Matt Breida.
No, Matt Breida, that's who I was thinking about. I don't know the other two guys you said. But I think Tua has really good arm talent, and he's in Miami, so I think he'll flourish, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I think this is a bad move for the Dolphins to make right now. You got to think about it. Your team is
Do
3
tell,
and 3.
brother, do tell.
Your team is 3-3 right now. Y'all have won 2 straight games convincingly. Destroyed the 49ers. We talked about that last week, 41-17. They beat the 49ers. And then you come out, destroy the Jets. I mean, what's to be expected? It's the Jets. But anyway.
Bruh, relax.
My
It's
bad,
okay.
bro. But you come out, you win 2 straight games like that. And then your starting quarterback has been playing well. And he's the leader of that team in the locker room and on the field. Because right now, Fitzpatrick has completed 70% of his passes, good for 5th in the league, over 1,500 yards, 7.7 yards per attempt. So he's spreading the ball out with an 82.5 QBR, which is good for 7th in the league. So Fitzpatrick has been doing his thing and getting this team some wins, which is what's important right now, especially for a young team that needs to learn how to win because it hasn't won in a while. So why would you disrupt the rhythm of winning and insert Tua now? I mean, I understand it from a front office perspective because, you know, you invested a 5th overall draft pick in him and you have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. But as a head coach, it's my job to win games, and I'm keeping the guy I've been riding with all season as my starter until I have a reason not to.
I mean, it's like he always starts off good, then he flames out around mid-season.
I mean, but the thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick is a breeze guy. Like, you don't sit there and be like, oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick is gonna be our starting quarterback for the next 2-3 years. Like,
I know he's almost 40. He's either in his 40s or almost 40. I understand that.
I mean, I understand he was playing good ball, but I think the purpose of him was to be a vessel for Tua. I think if they feel like he's probably done his job, then he did what he was supposed to do, and they paid him handsomely for it. So,
do you think he knew he was done when he was cheering for Tua when Tua checked into the game?
I don't think he knew he was done because Tua only played 5 plays.
Hey,
that's just being a good team.
It's symbolic, bro. You knew what time it was. I mean, I'm a crying the rover, so it don't matter. But hey, he knew what time it was.
Fitz came out and said today, bro. ESPN interviewed him and said, "I felt like it was my team. My heart just hurt all day, bro. Like, this is the guy that was really invested in this team, really invested in that locker room."
With the Harvard.
That's so kept. But going off of that, talking about
free Harvard online classes, brother. That's it.
But going off.
Oh,
what? Anyway, going off talking about Tua, I think it's appropriate that we ask who's y'all's favorite left-handed player ever, any sport.
Go first, Vance.
I mean, the first person that comes to my mind is Ginobili, bro. You know, you be watching them hoop on TV, they be yelling, Ginobili!
I ain't never heard nobody yell Ginobili.
I don't know about that.
I've heard it, bro. Ginobili! He's the fastest player in the league, bro. Like, Ginobili, I could do, you go on Tuesday night, he at the salsa club. He dancing. Man, that's the sauciest Euro step I ever seen in my life, bro.
High key.
For sure.
I'd
like D-Wade jump. But he got it from Ginobili, so it don't matter.
So what about you, Josh? Who's your favorite lefty?
And thank you, Nick, for this platform. I'm going with Big 7, that boy Vic, all day, every day. He's the OG, the prototype for the black quarterback. Bro, come on now. Electric, you know, for legitimate 4.3 speed. Nobody could stop him, bro. Like, only thing that could stop him was our federal government. That's the only thing that could stop him. And Arthur Blank. Come on now. Dude's a GOAT. You feel me? You wonder why people talking about Lamar and can compare him to Vic? Come on now. And I would say, give Vic the years when he was locked up for them dogs. Come on.
He have a ring right now if he didn't get locked up. Hands down.
Chill out, fool.
I don't know.
Most dynamic offensive weapon in the past 10 years. 20 years.
Lamar Jackson says hi, but okay.
Well, for me, my favorite lefties, bro, I got 2 lefties. Shout out to the hometown Grizzlies, bro. Zebo and Mike Conley, bro. How much better can it get? Numerous playoff appearances in Memphis.
Shout out. just for Mike Conley. I'm Big Zebo all day, but you could have left Mike Conley out.
No, bro. Shout out Mike Conley, bro.
Bro, you ain't like Mike Conley wasn't that guy, bro.
Thanks, bro. I went to high school with his cousin, bro.
That makes no difference to me. So, don't know your cousin or Mike Conley.
Please, bro. We was in the suite.
I got a good, funny story though. It's a podcast. I can tell my story. So, hanging out with some white guys, and we were right by Oak Court Mall, and I was at a nice, function. An NBA player not NBA player. He was a Tigers legend. He happened to just be, roaming around, doing something. That's why I'm not saying his name on purpose. But these white guys I was with literally just ran up to him and like, yeah, can we tour your house? And I was like, I'm just gonna hang back. You feel me? I just came with them, and it was cool. He let us tour his house, and he had us like a whole thing of Mike Conley memorabilia. Like it was kind of weird, but yeah, like how people have like fan stuff, like people like, oh, this is my autograph room. Like he had like a room, and it was mostly Mike Conley stuff. Ohio State, Grizzlies, and this is a person that like I'm gonna tell y'all off camera. This is a person that really made waves, and it's like
because Mike Conley that guy, bro. He the Memphis Jordan. But anyway, next.
Oh my gosh, bro! Stop. Go wash your mouth out with soap.
I'm good. So, next topic, got to talk about.
Can't even leave the show no more. Next topic, Vance. Talking about the Steelers, like, let me cover that up, brother. Let me cover that up.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's go and get on into the next topic. Antonio Brown will be eligible to practice and play in 2 weeks. So, y'all know I'm a big AB fan, call God and all. So, starting out, I just want to see, would y'all bring him to your team? He's coming off an 8-game suspension due to a number of different off-field issues. But recently he's been fairly quiet. Just posting videos of him working out, things like that. So would y'all bring AP? Would y'all sign AB if y'all were a GM of NFL?
If I'm of need of a wide receiver, yes. Like it's a no-brainer, no doubt, bro. He's a player that can push your team to the next level, whatever level that is. And so you got to do it. Pull the trigger. If not, just give him a tryout.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't because they're in the locker rooms. Hey, bro, I don't want to play with Antonio Brown. I think anybody be like, yes, I want to play with Antonio Brown, except for Steeler or Raiders players.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to think about it. He went to New England. Tom Brady loves him. He's been vying for Bruce Arians to bring him in for a little minute now. So, Josh, would you bring AB in?
If I was a general manager?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what he can do for your football team, obviously. But if I'm a GM, I'm going to get worried about my money and my time. And Antonio Brown is not good for either, honestly. You see how New England is the perfect hierarchy in the NFL. He lasted, a week with them?
But I would say he lasted a week in New England for reasons that were out of his control.
But it's always reasons out of his control.
But, I mean, I don't see AB as a bad locker room guy. He has had some trouble. The case is still open, so I'm going to say, the case came out that he allegedly
an open case now.
He allegedly conducted sexual misconduct with.
I don't care how good you can catch a football. Not a pending case, bro. And that's that's a felony.
But I'm saying he had two. The first one dropped the charges.
Stop talking. Okay. You're making it worse, brother. You're making it worse.
I'm just stating the facts, bro. I'm stating the facts.
Right. You're right.
All I'm doing is stating the facts. I'm just saying the New England situation was out of his control because the woman brought the charges up, and that led to him being cut. It wasn't anything who dealt with his behavior in New England that led to him getting cut. You get what I'm saying? It was a previous incident. The case came out. They cut him. It's fair. But if I'm a GM, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm bringing AB in. This is a guy that's had 6 consecutive years of 1,000+ receiving yards and 100+ receptions. He's an instant upgrade to any wide receiver room in the NFL. It's just hard to turn down that type of production. You know what I'm saying? So with that, like, I'm just gonna go on and ask y'all, like, if assuming he comes back and there's real interest in him in 2 weeks, who would y'all like to see AB sign with?
Ravens.
I like. Any particular reason why?
That's what they need, honestly. A big play guy. We talking about somebody, the Patriots, I don't know if they would sign him again, but
I think they would.
I don't think they would.
The Patriots.
Think about what they did with Josh Gordon. They brought Josh Gordon back in a couple of different times. I think they definitely bring AB back.
That's a good point.
The Eagles. The Eagles.
Hey, most definitely. Because you got to think about Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, and Jalen Reagor still hurt. Zach Ertz just went down this week on IR. So I think the Eagles would make sense.
Deshaun could definitely use it.
Who Texans? I think they're straight, bro. Honestly, on offense, their defense is so trash. So trash.
I agree with that.
You gotta get Deshaun from the Raiders.
They need he has his weapons. Their offense
been going kind of crazy.
And Cook. Darren Fells, they got a nice offense. That defense is like when I watched Texas play the Titans the other day, and then it was like no doubt in my mind the Titans were gonna go down in the score. Once they got the ball in overtime, you knew they was gonna score. It was no doubt in my mind. That's why I used to Sean Watson. He's about to cry. But
and that's a game where that Texas offense put up 36, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, bro. If I scored 36 in OT.
Yeah. And so I think those are three good teams. Patriots, Ravens, Eagles, because all three of those teams, wide receiver needy, lacking a number one at the moment. And I think if he goes to the Ravens, that might be the new culture team. You know what I'm saying? All the Broward County boys, Lamar, Hollywood, and AB.
They all ready for the culture.
I mean, yeah. But they would just, like, solidify them as the culture team. Like, everybody would be walking around with the Ravens gear. You know what I'm saying?
The culture never wins, though, bro. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
They never win. Brady's going to come down. Brady and the Buccaneers, they going to beat the Ravens, and everybody's going to be sad, bro. So I'm not up even if that happens.
Okay. And so to talk about another former Steeler, Le'Veon Bell got cut last week. Decided to sign with the Chiefs. Still making bank off the Jets. They own $6 million for this year and $8 million for next year. So sounds about Jet-like. So what was y'all's just initial reaction to Le'Veon being cut?
I'm not going to speak on this.
Bro, it's your speak on it.
Stop being speak on it.
Hurry up. I give my belt.
Man, say he gonna drive from Olive Branch to Houston just to whoop you, bro.
And then another hour because we outside of Houston. But yeah, since my cause threatened me with physical violence, I guess I'll talk. Le'Veon had been doing nothing for us, so it doesn't even matter. I want to see what Andy Reid, what exactly his role is like in that offense. Just the rich getting richer. But Le'Veon is very talented. They'll find somewhere to put him and maximize him.
Yeah, so, well, for me, it's not Le'Veon's fault he wasn't doing nothing in New York. It's the Jets' fault. It's Adam Gase's fault. They had a terrible O-line, couldn't block to save their life, and it just didn't open up any holes for Le'Veon. But what a positive from Le'Veon's tenure in New York last season was that he had 66 catches for 461 yards. And that kind of receiving production is evident wherever Le'Veon is, especially you look at his time with the Steelers. And I think that's what he brings to that Chiefs offense. He can create a lot of empty sets and mismatches for that Chiefs offense, forcing the coverage to shift or create mismatches with him on a linebacker out in space. So I think that's what he brings to the Chiefs. And you also got to look at what the Chiefs did on Monday night. They played the Bills Monday night, and they rushed the ball 46 times for 245 yards. And that's the highest rushing total in Kansas City under Andy Reid. And so by bringing Le'Veon in, you bring in a back who can spell Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who had 24 carries for 161 yards. And so far, he's carried the ball on around 80% of the Chiefs' designated handoffs to running backs. So by bringing Le'Veon in, you get a guy you can split out wide and a guy who can take some of the load off the back of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So what do you guys think about what Bell is bringing to Kansas City?
Like you said, impressive receiving chops. Probably can make Kansas City the best talented 1-2 run duo to pair with the now probably been the best passing offense. So embarrassment of riches, as they say.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's a good offense. I don't think Le'Veon's still a superstar back, but he's still really good. He's really, really good. I mean, you know, you can't really make that offense much better, but I mean, there's still going to be – it's no drop off. I mean, even Darrell Williams was a good running back for the Kansas City, and they're still going to get the other Williams. Is it Damian Williams?
Yeah, Damian. He opted out.
Yeah, so he opted out. They're still going to get him back next season, so you're going to have to make some decisions there. But, you know, Le'Veon's a great back. You know, it's a nice move. I have no problem.
I mean, he's still 28. He hadn't even hit 30, which is like the beginning of the decline in running back years, in my opinion. So I think everything he did in Pittsburgh, he can still do in Kansas City, hands down.
Yeah.
And so, what'd you say?
So not going to argue there.
For sure, bro. Ain't nothing to argue about. The only thing to argue about is why y'all didn't use him in New York.
Next topic.
So anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, talk about the battle in the AFC North, hand out our game balls, and do our weekly pick 'em. So make sure y'all stay tuned. All right, and so we back, and now we're talking about a heated race in the AFC North, and I'm talking between the Steelers and the Ravens. So right now, the Steelers are undefeated and sitting in the top of the AFC North with a record of 5-0. So far, what have y'all seen with the Steelers?
I'm a bad man. So you want to go first?
You can go.
Best defense in the league from top to bottom, from 1 to 11 to me. T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree, who I think is criminally underrated. Cameron Hayward, Devin Bush just tore his ACL, but even before it did, he was balling. You got Minka Fitzpatrick, Joe Hayden, there's the best defense in NFL. I don't know how particularly close it is, and they just been dominant. Big Ben's, you know, rolling through. Big Ben got Claypool and Juju. You know, they've been doing what Claypool really been doing what it do the past couple of weeks. They're a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah. So Vance, what do you have to add to that?
They're looking like the best team in the AFC. One of them, we're gonna find out who it is this Sunday coming up. Them are the Tennessee Titans. But I think the thing that really puts them over the Titans is not just the best team in the AFC North, but the best team in the AFC period is that defense, bro. It's crazy. The D-line's dominant. They got a superstar in the secondary. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. So, that's what I think.
Yeah, and so talking about that defense, they're second in the NFL in yards allowed per game with 285.2. Eighth best pass defense, only allowing 219 yards per game. And then the league's second best run defense, only allowing 66 yards on the ground. And they've created 9 turnovers on the season. So this is a really great defense on every level, like Josh said. But for me, the offense is doing a really good job of complementing the defense. So, you know, Big Ben's getting up there in age. He's coming off elbow surgery. So they've relied a lot on James Conner and Benny Snell in the run game. The team is 9th in rush yards per game with 136.8. So they were complementing good defense with running the ball, keeping games low scoring, and Big Ben is getting the job done when he has to. He's thrown for 11 touchdowns, which is 8th in the league, only 1 interception, completing around 70% of his passes, and they've gotten a pleasant surprise with Chase Claypool, as Josh alluded to. He's the team's leading receiver right now. So I think this Steelers team is a legit contender for the Super Bowl, talking about best team in the AFC. So now flipping over to the Ravens, who are sitting at 5-1. They got a bye week this week. Their one loss was to the Chiefs, kind of got dismantled that week. So what have y'all seen with the Ravens so far this year?
I feel like I'm gonna let Vance go first.
The Ravens, I like what I see. You know, Lamar Jackson still top 3 quarterback in the NFL with Russ Wilson and Pat Mahomes. Dominance. Honestly, it's just you can't stop it. It's a human cheat code. Defensively, they still got a little room for improvement here and there. But it's still good enough to, do basically whatever they want. I mean, honestly, I don't see them losing more than 2 more games this season. They might split with the Steelers, but that's really that's the only other L I see on the schedule for them.
Summation of my feelings is actually, I'm disappointed that they getting new weapons for Lamar in the offseason because, I mean, it really only matters with the Chiefs, honestly, but you can still see how the lack of weapons and he's not the crispiest pocket passer still. So, but he's still, him and Mahomes are the future of the league. But like Van said, dominance, they're continuing to, kill people on the ground. Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram, the big trust Lamar Jackson, like it's unstoppable.
Yeah. And so for me, I kind of have some concerns about the Ravens coming into this year. They're really thin at the linebacker position again. They didn't really do much to address that in the offseason. So, they're starting a rookie in Patrick Queen. They don't have any solidified, bona fide established veterans in that linebacking core. But in terms of front 4 and back 5, I think they're really well suited to be competitive in the AFC. And then, to me, the Chiefs exposed a lot of the Ravens' deficiencies on the offensive side of the ball. So right now, receivers are having trouble creating separation, and it's made it harder on Lamar Jackson to distribute the ball as a passer. And also, they brought a lot of pressure on Lamar, and it kind of sped up the process for receivers and made it harder for him to pass the ball yet again. And so, to me, the offense isn't as efficient or as explosive as it was last season. You think about last season, this is a team that led the NFL in rushing yards. Lamar set the record for rushing yards by a quarterback, and he's not on pace to do that again. But my thing is, yes, the offense is still scoring points. They're leading the NFL in points scored with 179, and they've scored in every quarter they've played so far this season. But if you take a deeper look at the numbers, they're 26th in total yards with 342.2 a game. They're 16th in third down conversions, a 42% conversion rate, and they're 18th in red zone efficiency with around 63%. And add on to that, the struggles they've had with penalties this year. They had 9 of them Sunday in their win over the Eagles. And it's just a lot of things on offense that they need to get better at, especially converting in the red zone and passing the ball. Because looking at Lamar, he's 28th in the league in terms of completing passes that travel further than 15 or further yards down the field with 36.8%. And you just can't be a good offense if you can't stretch the field, especially when you have a run-based offense. You have to be able to hit on the deeper throws, the intermediate throws to open that defense up if you really want to run the ball.
No, I think that it's gonna be a tight race between those two teams. I don't know how many times they played each other. Twice.
They play each other twice.
Like
With the first, they played the first time November 1st.
What did they say? Unstoppable force meets unmovable rock or something like that. So I think those games will be interesting, and I think that I got it written down here. I think that the Steelers will be the better team, 1 through 52. But when you have somebody like Lamar, it gives you that X factor. It just raises the ceiling, higher than anybody you in that division or in the NFL, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how.
Going off of that, who do y'all see winning this division?
Go first, Steelers. I got the yellow on for a reason, man.
Same record, but I honestly think it's going to be a tie, but I'm just Steelers. I don't think they lose a game. They'll lose one game in the division. That'll be to the Ravens. I can see the Ravens lose the Browns or the Bengals on some fluke stuff, bro. I don't know why. I can just see it happening. Just give me the Steelers. I think it's going to be a tie, but they'll get the tiebreaker.
Oh, for me, I kind of want to say the Steelers, but my heart just tells me to rock with the Ravens. I feel like they're going to make a big move before the November 3rd trade deadline. Get some help for Lamar on the perimeter in terms of a pass catcher, because you think about it, Brett, they add a perimeter weapon. It opens up the run game more. It opens up Mark Andrews in the middle of the field, and it opens up the run game some more. So I think if they make any kind of move, I think they'll be better suited than the Steelers. And I think, like I said, Lamar Jackson is the X factor, and I think he will show up and ensure that he does what's necessary to win that division. And so on off of that,
My bad, Nick. The one thing I want to say, like the only knock that people really have against Lamar, is playoff experience, and that's the one thing that Big Ben has a lot of.
yeah,
He's not going to be the better player right now, but when they get into, like I said, keep covered. But when you get into that postseason, those wild card games, one of them will have to play those playoff games where Lamar has just, for whatever reason, seems to not been able to win. Big Ben has been able to win those. So I think that like I said, like you said, the next big step for Lamar is to succeed and get some playoff victories.
yeah. But do you really think? I think Big Ben is past the point in the career where you can rely on him to win you a game. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's the star that he once was, especially coming off of elbow surgery this past season. I don't think you can just throw Big Ben out there and say, "Hey, our defense isn't playing well. We need you to throw for 300 plus and win us this game." I don't have that kind of faith in Big Ben, but I have the faith in Lamar that I can say, "Hey, Lamar, I need you to win this game." Because right now I'm just talking about winning the division, just winning the division in the regular season. I have faith in Lamar that Lamar will be able to do that in the regular season.
But just for a game, you wouldn't be able to trust Big Ben.
I mean, for a playoff game, when it comes to like who would I trust more in the playoffs to make a deep run, I would trust the Steelers more to make a deep run in the playoffs. But who would I trust?
Lamar's a better quarterback, but the Steelers got more weapons though.
Who would you trust, Big Ben or Lamar though?
Like one game, like I need a
playoff game to go to the Super Bowl championship.
Playoff game to get to the Super Bowl. Give me Big Ben just because of experience. Actually, no. I'm still gonna rock a little more. Still gonna rock a little more
against that defense, though.
I mean, yeah.
I like it.
I'm just gonna rock with him, bro, for the culture.
Over the top, though. The way he's been balling he's come in and he's looking real nice. I think he's gonna be in this league for a little while, bro.
I mean, yeah, most definitely. Like I said, Claypool was a pleasant surprise for the Steelers. Like, who would expect him to come in and have a 4-touchdown game? It's pretty nice. And then he topped it off again with a rushing touchdown last week.
Yeah, he about to do the type real dirty, bro. Malcolm Butler can't cover anything.
Yeah, we know.
I was about to say, we got TV too, Vance.
So, kind of going off what we just talked about, which of these two teams do you think is more poised for a deep playoff run? I know y'all picked the Steelers to win the division, so do y'all think the Steelers would be a better team in the playoffs too?
Defense travels, bro. Defense.
Yeah. Hey,
defense.
Amen. I can't even say nothing. I just got to say amen to that.
I mean, yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like the Steelers are better suited to make a deep run in the playoffs than the Ravens are.
I mean, but then we said that same thing about Georgia, and then they got stumped by Alabama, bro. So you never know.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, I just see it as Lamar's 0-2 in the playoffs. You can say what you want about that, but I just think that the Steelers, like I said, defense travels. Big Ben's been there before. He's a better player. It's a better team constructed for the playoffs. But the Ravens, I still believe, will win the division in the regular season.
I understand that.
And so, to close this episode out, as we always do, let's hand out our game balls for the week. So, who want to hand this out first?
Too trill. I'm gonna let Vance hand this out first because I loved his pick last week.
The quick one, the easy one, the most obvious one. Give me Derrick Henry, King Henry. 22 carries, 212 yards on the ground, 2 catches, 53 receiving yards. That big game in overtime he had. That got the bulk of his receiving yards. 2 touchdowns. Offensive Player of the Week, AFC, and NFL Offensive Player of the Week. So big shout out to him. He's a leading rusher in the NFL right now by 50 yards. They said if you only consider his yards after contact, he would be 6th in the NFL in rushing yards.
Wow, that's crazy.
The most dominant running back in the game right now.
So who you got this week, Josh?
Man, I'm gonna take the concept and stretch it just a tad bit. I'm gonna give my game ball to Tampa Bay's defense, the whole defense, not the whole 11. As we noted, Green Bay was on a roll coming into this game versus TB and the Bucks. The Bucks had last year they had Shaq Barrett, sack leader, but the whole defense as a whole was a little shaky. But boy, did they show up on Sunday. They held Rodgers to 16 for 35, 160, 2 interceptions, 1 pick six by Carlton Davis, or was it Jamal Dean? I think it was Jamal Dean.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because Antoine Winfield and Carlton Davis, they actually dropped 2 picks during the game. So they could have got Rodgers for 4 of them things. But it starts with that front seven. You got Shaq Barrett, JPP, Devin White, and
Vita Vea.
Levante David. Vita Vea. Look at you, Nick, getting down in the trenches. Boy, I ain't even have him written down.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Best run defense in the league last season.
Yeah, Nick played nose guard in preschool.
I didn't even play football in preschool. So
they put a dude in nose guard in Pee Wee, bro.
That's right. Didn't even play Pee Wee.
They did. They do, though.
Somewhere on a tennis court.
Let me get through this, Vans. Like I said, probably the best linebacker crew in the NFL right now, Levante David and Devin White. 14 tackles, almost 3.5 sacks combined. Devin White 4.42, running hit guys sideline to sideline. He's the physical specimen. Levante David, he's that seasoned vet. He's gonna read the triangle, the 2 guards in his space. And that combination, like Nick said, has been killing the run defense since last year. But the upgrade that took place this year was, I think, sparked by Antoine Winfield Jr. and that secondary. The front seven does make life difficult for Rodgers, but they still had to make plays on the ball, and they did that consistently all game. Devontae Adams is a superstar in this league, and Carlton Davis, what I seen from one of the breakdowns, was actually traveling with him at one point during the game. And especially like on that out route where he got his pick, that was Jamal Dean. But even on his out route where he got his pick six playing off man, film studying tendencies. But being able to make a play when the opportunity is there. And I think that secondary for Tampa Bay is going to be the biggest jump to be like a Steelers defense, a defense that can travel, can jumpstart your offense when necessarily your TB is not going to be playing well. So, yeah, that was an amazing job. That was a classic case of my defense is going to dominate the day. And, I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of the season.
Yeah, and so for me, my game ball goes to DeAndre Swift, rookie running back for the Lions. Had a breakout game this Sunday versus the Jags. Carried the ball 14 times, 116 yards, 8.3 average per carry, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions, 7 yards. He had his breakout game this Sunday in a win, and is glad to see him do this because he was drafted second round by the team, came into a crowded backfield with AP, Kerryon Johnson, and I feel like he pushed himself into that running back one conversation for the Lions, and he straight up dominated that game, put the team on his back, led him to a victory.
Shout out DeAndre Swift. That's a Philly native. Shout out my boy Big Zabo on the thing. I don't know if you listen to it or not. You should be if you're not, brother. But yeah, shout out DeAndre Swift.
Cool. And so to close the episode out, of course, we got our weekly pick'em.
Pick'em. You feel me? We gotta get some good little edits going. That's gonna be so cute. But go ahead, start, Nick.
So first game we got Steelers at Titans. We've been talking about this game all episode. Let me see who y'all rocking with.
Go Vans.
He picked, bro. I'm rocking with the Tennessee football Titans, bro. Titans by 3. Every game has been down to the wire for the Titans this season, bro. I don't think they had one blowout win at all. Had 3 game winners now with the Derrick Henry touchdown. Gosowski's kicked 2 game winners, and the other 2, were 1-score games. So, give me the Titans, bro.
Go, Nick.
I gotta rock with the Titans, bro. I just like what they're doing. They keep building momentum. Can't stop King Henry, man.
As I look in the face of a Tennessee Titans hoodie that I have right here to my left, I gotta go with the Steelers. Like you said, defense travels, And honestly, if this defense can't keep Henry under 100 yards, nobody can. But I think that they are the best defense in the league. Big Ben has, I think they're probably most complete team right now in the league. I would probably say so.
Yeah.
So my prediction is Steelers, tough one over the Titans. But if the Titans can win, I would probably pick them to go to the Super Bowl at this point if they can beat the Steelers.
So I think that's an interesting matchup. The Steelers have the second best run defense in the league, like I noted earlier, versus King Henry, who has the most rushing yards in the league. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and, what the Titans decide to do in game plan. So next game we got Seattle at Arizona, battle out west.
One of probably the best interconference matchup in football right now. You know, that whole NFC West, that conference is giving us so much great football over the years. But I digress. The Cardinals just embarrassed the Cowboys on national TV yesterday or Monday, but it's happening more often, so it really doesn't matter that much. DK and Russ are becoming the best combo in the league, but K1 and D-Hop are going to be a close second if we're going to really be competitive about it. While doing a little research, probably the best game, the game I'm most excited for. Only reason I'll give it to the Seahawks because Chandler Jones is out. But even Buda Baker's been playing with his hair on fire, so who knows?
Okay. Vance, what you got? We can't hear you, bro.
Can't hear you, brother.
Hey.
You look like you're saying something good though. You look like it.
give me the Cardinals. I really like the Cards. The way Buda Baker's been playing, I think he's gonna be giving Russell Wilson hell, especially off the edge. You know, Seahawks, their tackle, they're decent, but I don't see them like keeping Buda Baker contained. And I like the way Kyler's been running. I don't see the Seahawks, you know, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, you know, Salah Olive Brandt. They're gonna be struggling to keep that offense at bay. We'll see. But just give me the Cardinals. I just got a feeling Cardinals by 2.
Yeah, I kind of got the same feeling Vance got in this game. I like the Cardinals defense a little better than I like the Seahawks defense. I believe Jamal Adams will still be out. So I'm going to rock with the Cardinals, especially after the show they put on against the Cowboys Monday night. So next game we got 49ers at Patriots.
Go Vance.
I'm a Cam Newton fan, bro. Just give me the Patriots. Defense. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm gonna say Patriots 20, 49ers 16.
Go Nick.
I gotta rock with the Patriots on this one. I feel like the Patriots will get their running game back on track, especially against the D-line, missing some key pieces. So I'm gonna rock with the Patriots.
Three-way sweep. You know, Moult's going to be out. He had over 100 yards last game. Trent Williams is questionable. Even if he's playing, he's not going to be at 100%. I think they're overreacting in Foxborough. Give me New England.
Okay. Next game we got Buccaneers at Raiders.
Ooh, I like this game too. You said Bucs at Raiders. You know, two teams coming off impressive wins. The Raiders over the Chiefs and the Bucs obviously over Green Bay. I just talked about that. But Waller and Ruggs have been killing secondaries all week, and it actually leads to my point that, like I said, this is another stepping stone for that Buccaneers secondary. I think that this front seven will make it really hard on them. Trent Brown has been the best tackle in football early, but he's not yet there for other O-linemen. Rojo just had a 100-yard game. Give me the Bucs.
Give me the Bucs too. I like what I see against arguably the best offense in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers just dominated them. It wasn't even close, man. I think that's the type of ceiling the Bucs have. Like, if you play defense, bro, your offense, you could carry your offense. We've seen that with the Bears for past 3-4 years since they actually got the player from the Raiders, Khalil Mack. But give me the Bucs, bro. I like what I see from them.
So for me, I'm gonna flip the script on y'all. I'm gonna take the Raiders. And I'm gonna take the Raiders just because I know John Gruden gonna be charged up, ready to play the team he won a Super Bowl with, and I think Derek Carr will basically put everybody on notice that, hey, I'm a franchise guy. He's going to come into this game motivated. Josh Jacobs going to run angry as always. So I think I'm going to rock with the Raiders. So next game we got, Monday night game, Bears at Rams. Khalil Mack versus Aaron Donald.
Bears.
Not really. Khalil Mack's been disappointing.
You said you rocking with the Bears fans?
Yeah, Bears, bro. Give me the Bears, bro. I like the Bears, bro. Anthony Miller. With Darrell Henderson, he goes hard too, but give me the Bears, man. I just trust them for some reason.
Josh?
No, give me the Rams. I think the Rams are playing a little better. I like the Bears. Nick Foles really brought a new element to that offense. But the Rams just played the Bills really close. Henderson's been over 100 yards, I believe, the past 2 games. So, that single back's been, jugging and jiving for him. Play action set up for Goff, which is where he operates best. Too many weapons. Cooks, Woods, Higbee, Gerald Everett. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, so for me, I got to rock with the Bears on this one. You can say what you want about Khalil Mack underproducing, but that is a front seven that still creates a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And add to that, the Bears have the two best corners in the league in terms of allowed completion percentage. Kyle Fuller only allows 41% of passes to be completed when he's targeted, and the other corner, rookie Jalen Johnson, only allows 44% of passes to be completed when he's targeted. So combining that front seven with those DBs in the backfield, I got to rock with the Bears, especially against a Rams team that's headed by Jared Goff. So you never know what to expect when you play Jared Goff.
Nah, for sure. I mean, I can concur with that. But I mean, Sean McVay, he was the wonder boy in the NFL 18 months ago, so he's still got a little magic left.
We'll see. It'll be an interesting Monday night game because I'm tuned in. And so with that wraps our episode up this week. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
The Kobe episode. Shout out
sir.
Mamba.
Yes, sir.
2-4. You already know.
Money man.
Yeah. Shout out Money Man. This is the part of the segment where I have, I tell who to listen to the podcast. But I want to get inspiration today from my co-host. Who is this? Who listens to this podcast? Nick and Vance.
People that like sports.
Yeah.
Negroes.
Negroes do listen to this podcast. Several Negroes are subscribed to us on all of our social media platforms. Negroes, I'm at HBCU right now. I know you got, you're grown. You're 26, 27. You got your own place. You have a steady job. You're breaking generational curses. But you got that little nephew. I know that's family, but all family ain't family like that. Put him on a podcast. Give him something constructive to do. What he doing? What's he running around doing? Nothing. Sitting around all day, breathing your air, eating out your refrigerator while you're not there. Come on now. Give him an assignment. Make him listen to the podcast. Make him leave a review. Follow us on all social media accounts. And just get his lazy behind up before you smack him.
Yes, sir. Make sure you do that. We inspire the youth around here. So make sure y'all stay up, still in the pandemic, wear that mask, like, comment, subscribe, do all that.
Black lives still matter for the people.
And vote.
Yes, sir. Election day coming up.
Vote. Early voting 6th. Going on in most states.
Yes, sir. Election day is November 6th, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure y'all get out and do that. Got business to take care of. So y'all stay safe out here, and we out of here.
You feel me? I don't know about that one.